Welcome. Welcome to psychology class. Today we're going to be analyzing and observing the deserved downfall of R. Kelly. Now, I'm not into all the drama and the news and stuff, but basically what I know about R. Kelly is he peed on somebody, I guess. I don't know, I guess he's a weirdo now. But I used to listen to R. Kelly when I was no older than, I had to be about 6 years old. Probably even younger than that. But there was this one song, When a Woman Loves. That song is so much nostalgia. Me and my grandma used to love that song. This is way back in the day before all these allegations and things like that, but let's see why his downfall is deserved. Heard he's in jail. People are making him sing for his food or something.
He was loved by many, and music made people feel good.
Taking it up the butt.
That was until the dark truth about the way he
Stay safe out there,
for over
Stay
2 decades
safe.
slowly came to light until it could no longer be ignored. The once Grammy Award-winning musician and record producer was sentenced to 30 years behind bars after being found guilty of sex trafficking and racketeering.
What?
For some, this came as a surprise or even hard to believe, but in reality, these accusations have been going on since the start of his career in the early 90s.
What?
R. Kelly and MGM.
Underage?
In 1989, R. Kelly would gain national recognition.
Bro, what kind of dance moves that? I can do that, low-key. I could do that too.
In 1989, R. Kelly would gain national recognition.
I'm not gonna lie, that had to be one of the gayest things I did in my life. I'm definitely cutting that out the video. That's not making the final cut.
The group would disband shortly after, but R. Kelly would go on to sign his first record deal in 1991. Although this was just the beginning of his lengthy and promising career, court documents now show this was also around the time he began interacting with underage females.
Wait, when did it start?
Was the first victim to speak up and come forward about a relationship with R. Kelly. She began sleeping with him in 1991 when she was only 15 years old and he was 24. After spotting his car in the parking lot, she ran over to meet the star, to where he gave her his home address and told her to come over and bring friends. While she
Bring friends?
Weird, she explained this was a superstar, so for me I thought maybe this was different. Maybe this is just how it was.
Ain't no way.
Do you like teenage girls? When you say teenage, how old are we talking?
Under
At the end of his
18.
relationship with Tiffany in 1994, he had already started seeing someone new and even more controversial. To this day, the details of R. Kelly and singer Aaliyah's relationship still has unanswered questions. But what we do know is the two met when she was just 12 years old in a studio and an aspiring R&B artist.
Years old.
Initially, it appeared as if he was acting as a mentor to her in her upcoming career. Critics would even go on to state her music sounded like R. Kelly, but with a little girl singing. Was this just his influence, or early signs of his controlling behavior? R. Kelly seemed to have been intent on presenting Aaliyah to the world.
I never understood Agent.
Version of himself. He even insisted.
Well, you know, I never understood when people like rappers and singers talk to little girls. Like, you're a singer, you can get almost any girl you want, bro. Oh my gosh, especially rappers. What's that one dude's name? Something Tokyo's Revenge, I think. That dude, he made that one song back in whatever. But like, this dude is a rapper. Women are like, nigga. A rapper, bro. You can pull anybody you want.
And soon after, everywhere they went, which was becoming more frequent. This obviously started to raise suspicions in the public eye, and people began asking questions.
Everybody seems to think that y'all are either girlfriend or boyfriend, or cousins, or
12-year-old?
Let's get the record straight. Well, no, we're not related at all. No, we're not. We're just very close. He's my best friend.
Eventually, the question went from are the two in a secret relationship to are Aaliyah and R. Kelly secretly married. For some time,
Married?
both went on to deny the rumor repeatedly until it finally became a fact. In 1994, Vibe magazine published a certificate showing proof that the two were in fact in a relationship and married. The problem was, he was 27 and she was just 15 years old at the time.
But man, hip-hop star R. Kelly did indeed marry his protege, the 15-year-old singer Aaliyah Hawkins.
How do you even get married
The
at
manager
15?
for R. Kelly later testified at his trial that he did bribe a government worker to obtain a fake ID so the singers could marry. Needless to say, just a month later, the marriage was annulled, and the two would eventually go their separate ways. But this was all just the tip of the iceberg. As I mentioned before, Tiffany Hawkins, who was his first known victim, would come forward sometime in 1996. She sued R. Kelly for $10 million for personal injuries and severe emotional harm. But the lawsuit was settled for a fraction of the amount she was asking, just $250,000.
Bro, you know something else? You know, I also don't get into stuff like this. The other day, I just seen a post on Instagram. It was like something about one of the girls like lied on R. Kelly or something, or they made it up. I was like, this is why I don't get into this. It's just too confusing, bro.
R. Kelly
I'm not losing brain cells over people who don't know I exist, buddy.
Successful songs, even winning major awards.
People I don't
the
care
accusations
about
would only continue.
Y'all need to leave him alone. That's not R. Kelly.
In 2001, a former intern at Epic Records said she was seduced and treated as his personal object until he cast her aside.
Personal
Even
object?
going as far to say he controlled every aspect of her life, including who she would see and where she went. The case was settled out of court for an undisclosed amount. 2002, two more cases emerged. Montina Wood sues, alleging that R. Kelly videotaped them together without her knowledge. The recording was then sold by bootleggers under the title R. Kelly XXX. Then, another woman, Patrice Jones, claimed he impregnated her while she was underage and then was forced to get an abortion. But once again,
why are all these people choosing to come out about it now? Is it because like everybody else is doing it, so they're like, it's my time to
cases were
finally?
settled out of court, where he paid
saying?
undisclosed amounts in return for non-disclosure agreements.
Like, I guess they're thinking like maybe he could like come after them if they're the only ones coming out with it, but if everybody comes out with it at the same time, it's like
Doing so,
overwhelming.
He was
You know what I'm saying?
by then. This only made him feel more untouchable. It was apparent by now that he was using his status to lure these young women in. Most of the victims shared a common interest as aspiring
why the
singers,
young woman though?
music
Your
industry
status
related
can
to
pull
promises
grown
that he
woman.
achieved, while secretly fulfilling his own twisted fantasy. Not even a few
You
months
sing.
later,
All you gotta do is be in her ear like this. What a woman loves. That's all you gotta do when you're
Chicago
bagging.
Times received an anonymous video that once again appeared to show R. Kelly participating in sexual acts with a minor, including urinating on the victim. The video
That's
was
what I heard
passed on to the police, who verified it was in fact R. Kelly in his Chicago home. But because the video was submitted anonymously and not by the victim herself, it made
There's a
things
video?
difficult. The girl that was suspected of being in the video would not cooperate with authorities, and neither would her parents. It took 6 years for the case to even go to trial, during
6
which he
years.
released his wildly successful Trapped in the Closet album that got nominated for awards despite what was going on. The jury eventually concluded they couldn't prove the girl in the tape was a minor without her cooperation. Therefore, he was found not guilty on all counts.
We did not expect that it would take 6.5 years. This has been a terrible ordeal for him and his family. But at this point, all he wants to do is move forward and try to put it behind him.
At this point, people became outraged. This was no longer one person making these accusations, and although he had been considered innocent until this point, it was getting hard for anyone to defend him. As victims came forth about their experiences, it only encouraged more women to speak up as well. It would take almost 10 years before they gathered enough people and evidence to come after the superstar once again.
So this dude is experienced. Whoa.
In 2017, BuzzFeed wrote a detailed report claiming R. Kelly had trapped 6 women in what they called a sex cult. The article alleged that he seduced young women when they approached him for help with their careers and music, and then he would take control of their lives, confiscating their cell phones and making them cut contact with friends and relatives. He would then dictate what they ate, how they dressed, how they bathed, and even how they engaged in sexual encounters that he would then record. These allegations came from 3 of his former employees, as well as the parents of the girls, who said their kids basically vanished. This would all lead up to the 2019 documentary titled Surviving R. Kelly. 6
Surviving
episodes that were 1 hour each would air on Lifetime TV.
Strong
Interviews and
words.
stories from dozens of women and the parents of victims spoke out. 2 weeks after the program went live, he was dropped from his record label. Most of his upcoming concerts.
Alright, I get it if it's like maybe like 1 or 2 people. There's a chance that they're gonna be lying, but all these people are claiming that you did whatever. Now that would be insane if every single one of them is lying. That's how I feel about paranormal and ghost videos. Like, I guess somebody could like fake a ghost video, but you're telling me every single video out there is faked. Like, that's just like not realistic, bro.
Were canceled. Shortly after, a lawyer obtained a video showing R. Kelly sleeping with a 14-year-old girl, and once again they had something solid they could come after him for. He was arrested and charged in his home city of Chicago for prostitution, sex trafficking, and aggravated sexual abuse. It took 2 years for this to go to trial, to which he was found guilty on all charges and sentenced to 30 years behind bars. A bittersweet moment was also captured during the trial when the judge asked R. Kelly's lawyers an impactful question. Do they deny that R. Kelly had sexual relations with the late singer Aaliyah while she was underage? According to those present, his lawyers let out a deep sigh and responded, no, they do not deny it. Confirming a question that had been unanswered for almost 30 years, bringing justice not only to Aaliyah, but all the women and lives that were impacted by his wrongdoings.
Dang. Deserved downfall. R. Kelly. Let me know what else you want me to watch. Should I watch this? Destructive Downfall of 6ix9ine? 10-year takedown of YSL? Let me know, man. I'll watch whatever you want me to watch. But you know what to do. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, comment. I'm gonna catch y'all later. About to go take a nap. Probably go beat my and take a nap. So I'm gonna catch y'all later, man.